A desperate rescue effort, a burning ferry off the coast of Greece. Right now, hundreds of passengers are trapped. But we begin with the urgent search for this missing AirAsia jet, Flight 8501, vanishing en route to Singapore in Southeast Asia. The terrible weather there when the plane went missing, a possible factor, fierce thunderstorms, towering clouds, ferocious winds, and now the agonizing wait for the desperate family members. 162 people on board, including 16 children and an infant. All of this just 9 months after Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 disappeared. So many asking tonight, how can this happen again? We have team coverage tonight, and we begin with ABC's David Curley. David?
Good evening. It is the early morning hours in Indonesia, Tom. The launch of the first full day of searching for this jetliner, which just vanished from radar screens.
This tonight, another missing jetliner in Southeast Asia, AirAsia Flight 8501. Within hours, Indonesia says it will have a dozen ships, 3 helicopters, and 5 aircraft looking for any sign of the jetliner, possible wreckage floating on the Java Sea, even though relatives who gathered at airports still held out for better news.
We still have hope. We cannot lose hope.
It was just after 5:30 in the morning that the nearly full Airbus A320 jetliner took off from Indonesia's Surabaya airport, heading northwest to Singapore. But over the Java Sea, the jetliner encounters heavy weather, turbulence. At 6:12, the pilot radios he wants to turn to go around the weather and climb significantly from 32,000 feet to 38,000 feet. It is his last contact. 5 minutes later, 41 minutes into the flight, the jet disappears off Indonesian radar, according to that country's transport ministry.
It's much too soon to do anything but wildly speculate at this point. But the one thing that was here last night that was not present in the Malaysia 370 disappearance is bad weather.
The Malaysian businessman who started this low-cost carrier, AirAsia, tweeted, "This is my worst nightmare," before he flew to Indonesia.
We don't want to speculate anymore. There's a deep sense of depression here, but we'll stay strong.
The airline and the airplane have a good safety record. The pilot experienced. Among the 162 on board, 16 children, passengers mostly from Indonesia. Relatives could not contain their fears, waiting for any word. Louise Siddhartha was waiting in Singapore for her fiancé, who was traveling with his family.
And yeah, it was supposed to be their last vacation before us got married.
So tonight, another mysterious missing jetliner in Southeast Asia. It was just 9 months ago that Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 disappeared and is thought to be at the bottom of the Indian Ocean off Australia. But in this case, a better chance of finding the aircraft, which if it went down, it did so in the Java Sea.
The Java Sea is not that deep, for one thing, and the bottom has been very well mapped.
While the Indonesian search effort is just moving into high gear, that effort will be growing. Singapore sending ships and already has aircraft working the search area, but so far, no clues. Tom?
So many questions tonight. Okay, David, thank you. We want to turn now to ABC News contributor and former Marine Corps fighter pilot, Colonel Steve Ganyard, for more. And Steve, I want to focus now on the plane. A relatively new Airbus, only 6 years old. Aren't they built to fly through any type of weather?
Well, they are. It's a very, very good airplane. It's a very strong airplane. It's got excellent weather radar on board. And so this is quite a mystery because it's hard to imagine how a thunderstorm would bring down an airplane, especially with as experienced as this crew is. So I think that we'll probably find that weather was a contributing factor, but was probably not the sole reason this airplane was brought down.
Anything about the search for this plane right now that concerns you?
I think one is the lack of data. You know, we have the last radar hit is at 32,000 feet, and then the airplane disappeared. There's only a couple things that can make that happen. A catastrophic failure of some kind, a wing comes off, a bomb blows up. Other than that, there should be more data, and it's really confusing why we don't see that now. The other thing that I think is important is another airplane that's lost. And to have another airplane that's lost 9 months after we lost a Malaysian aircraft is unacceptable. In this day and age, we should not be losing airplanes.
ABC News contributor Steve Ganyard. Steve, thank you. Let's go back now to that bad weather factor. ABC News senior meteorologist Rob Marciano joins us now. Now, Rob, we know the pilots asked to climb to 38,000 feet. At that point, what type of weather were they experiencing?
Tom, there's little doubt they incurred some turbulent weather. This is the rainy season across Indonesia, and it's really active right now. Take a look at the satellite picture in the minutes around when that plane went missing. Several clusters of powerful thunderstorms. Inside these clouds, you've got big-time vertical winds, you've got lightning, even some icing conditions. I want to show you across cross-section of the atmosphere. That plane cruising at 32,000 feet. As you mentioned, they asked to ascend to 38,000 feet. But the problem is some of these thunderstorms were going to 50,000 feet. And in this part of the world, they can go to as high as 70,000 feet. So it's difficult to go around them. As for the search, these thunderstorms tend to die down a little bit at night, so we're getting towards morning. Sun about to come up. The next few hours are critical in the search.
All right, well, that's some promising news about the weather getting better now. Back here at home, what are we looking like the week ahead?
We've got some snow problems. I want to take you to Oklahoma, where they had some problems on the roadways here. Just a few inches of snow. They've had 6 inches so far this year. That's more than Chicago and Boston. And we've got winter storm watches and additional snows that are expected across the Intermountain West. But the bigger story this week is going to be the intense cold that's going to be dropping down across the South. We're going to see teens and 20s, even some single digits, and temperatures will be below zero come Monday morning. Even New Year's Eve in Las Vegas, they could see snow there. So 2015 is going to come in cold.
All right, Rob Marciano. Rob, thank you.